For anybody listening now, we are joined today with the UK's #1 motivational speaker, Brad Burton. So for anyone listening, can you just tell people, give them a bit of a background story and how we got to this point right now?
Of course I can, Ant. So I started my business off 2006, the one that I'm best known for. This one, for networking, that one, right, for networking. And so since that time, it was a business networking organisation. I started it, I was delivering pizzas to keep my business afloat. Fast forward 14 years, we run over 5,000 business networking meetings across the UK, membership organisation, thousands of members. And then obviously COVID come along and that was it. My business fell off. And also, I'm known for, I've written 4 books. I'm actually an author. So I've written 4 books. My latest book, Now What, and what have you. So that's what I'm best known for networking, my books, and also my motivational speaking. So my business fell off for networking. It basically collapsed overnight. And actually, I've had to change that, everything about it within like a 1-week period. And I've done it. I've managed to pull it off. And for networking version 2.0 was born yesterday, and we're doing okay. It's just crazy, and I think the whole COVID situation has kind of fucked everyone up, if I'm honest. You know that.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, we'll get on to how you've sort of shaped the business now and where you've sort of took it to in the transitional period. But for anyone listening who doesn't actually know who you are, where did this journey start? Because you don't just have 4 books, you don't just have 5,000 networking events up and down the country. Where did this start, Brad?
So I'm just a Salford street kid from Manchester, and in 1995 I got shot at and I moved away from Manchester and I moved to Somerset, and worst day of my life, because my home of 21 years was no longer my home, and I was fearful and what have you. And what you wouldn't know about me is my dad left when I was 6 months old. I've got no qualifications. Delivered pizza at 31. Got shot at when I was 21. Done 4 years on benefits. Been addicted to drugs twice. So this kind of stuff, we've all got that side. We've all got a side that people don't know. The difference is I'm daft enough to share it. And the reason I share it is I've got nothing to hide. I've got nothing to hide. So no one's got anything on me, right? Anything that I've ever done is in all my books. I've kind of, there's no one's got any, like genuinely, no one's got nothing on me. I've shared everything. And so bottom line is I've done 4 years on benefits. I've sort of blagged my way into jobs and this, that and the other. And I was just 31 years old, and I was working for a company as a marketing guy. And basically I just told them to shove the job up their arse and just started my own business off. And, I was £25,000 in debt, wife that was furious with me giving up on that job. And I said, this is my chance. And I went for it, and my first business was my marketing business, and I did okay. It was a 26 grand turnover the first year, 46 halfway through the second year, and then I threw it in the bin to concentrate on this networking, because I've been along to networking events, business networking, and basically there was, you had the loony left of networking where nothing quite happens, all very nice, Chablis and Bollivants. Yeah. And then you have the hardcore, right, you have to attend, you've got to bring visitors, I'm thinking, where was the mainstream of networking? And that's when I came up with the idea for networking. And like I say, people, when I came up with it, 50% social, 50% business, people laughed at my face and people said to me, I've got it wrong. And actually, look, the fact that we survived 14 years, we didn't get it wrong. Right. And I think, I think there's the real lesson here in life, adds in that you're going to get people telling you you've got it wrong. And if you know deep down, anyone telling you you've got it wrong, they're just guessing. Yeah. Me telling them I'm getting it right, I'm just guessing. Their view, just because they're older or they're more wiser, doesn't mean that they're necessarily right. So I've ignored every single individual that's told me I couldn't do it, and I kind of listened to my own internal voice, knowing that actually the hands of time are sort of ebbing away for us all. We're all getting older. I've known you for probably 6 years now. And actually you're 6 years older and wiser since I last met you, and vice versa. So I'm good, and I'm I think if anyone does just while you're listening to this, just check out bradburton.biz. You'll get a good overview of life before COVID-19, because I was a top level motivational speaker, getting booked at the highest level across the UK, Costa, Zero, Bentley, JTB. And obviously you're not allowed to social distancing, and quite rightly, by the way, do stay home, do wash your hands, do save the NHS, and it's the right thing right now. This is not for the short-term pain, medium-term, long-term gain. And that's pretty much how I changed my life with that same principle. Because if I look at the old life that I led, everything was short-term. Everything was short-term. Get money, go out, got no money, get money, go out. And that was my life.
So being addicted to drugs twice and sort of being doing the 4 years on benefits, do you think that's a direct result of getting shot at when you were 21, Brad?
And a contributing factor, because actually what happened is I didn't believe I was going to have a tomorrow. I had a contract on my head. So you kind of changes everything from a psychological perspective. You kind of always don't believe you're going to last till tomorrow or the week after. So therefore, you're just reckless. Drink more, party more, do stuff that, you'll hear people saying, live every day like it's your last. Well, that's great until, of course, you wake up in 2 days' time and you've spent your mortgage money. So I live every day like it's my last, but not at the expense of tomorrow, which is what I did in those early days. So yeah, no question. You can't attribute it to. Listen, let me be quite clear: the drugs were fun. And would I want my children doing them? No. But was they fun? Yes. The reality is. So and also I think what we end up doing is when you do drugs or you're addicted to something, I think we do it because the real world's shit. If that makes sense, or you don't believe there's a way out. So therefore, for that brief moment, for your 24 hours, you're Robbie Williams, and then you go back to your normal world. And I think that's what it was. It was escapism, fun escapism, and wanting to be a success. But whilst you're ploughing your energy and your money and whatever, what little money you've got into drugs, you're always going to. It's that short-termism. You stay there. Because you spend all your money on drugs, you never build a house, you never get a home, and effectively don't even want to be there. You always want to be somewhere else, wherever you are in your life or your world. And I think that, to me, is something that's fundamentally changed because I got myself out of the short-term thinking, got myself into the medium and long-term. So whilst my friends were going out partying, I was getting on with my business, and they're still going out partying now, and they would swap quite happily. But people don't want to do that. But we've got one life, ads, and that's the bit that we don't realise. We think that death happens to other people. We think that everyone else gets COVID. Every single person right now who's in an ICU unit, nobody thought he was going to get it. It was always somebody else. And this is what you've got to do. So you've got to recognise that actually, fundamentally, we are responsible for our own actions. And you can blame what happened in Manchester as to why I was a twat. Or you could say, the reason you was a twat is because you was a twat. And that's kind of requires a little bit of self-leadership, to be honest about that.
And can you remember your actual thought process when you were that age or when you were young, and when that happened? Can you think, I know you wanted success, the drugs and the party and all that came with it, which you enjoyed. Obviously, you were maturing, you were getting older. But the underlying bit was you wanted success.
Yes.
Did you want success prior to being 21? Or is that when you thought, no, now I want success?
Yeah. But my success was 1994, where a cat backwards walking on with a Raiders top on, throwing up deuces. That was what I was into, big bag of jeans. And actually, that's all you could ever see. The idea of a 20-year-old version of what success is driving around in a Maybach with two girls wearing chinchilla fur coats. You know what I mean? Booty shaking. So you've got this strange, skewed version about what success is at that age, and increasingly, people right now have the same skewed version of what success is. You've only got to look at Facebook. You've got someone, 25-year-old kid getting out of a Lamborghini and then walking towards the camera talking about how he's made so much money, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's what I need to do. What I need to do is I need to get on this course for 10 grand." You think, well, why is it 10 grand? The reason it's 10 grand is because it works. Otherwise, it wouldn't be 10 grand. Not true. Why if these people are so successful that they're selling 10 grand courses? So once you understand the psychology of all that, so yes, I think everyone always wants success, but I think you kind of, where I am now in my life, if it wasn't for COVID-19, although to be honest, I'm good with it. And I'll explain why I'm good with COVID-19, like genuinely good with it in a second. But where I am in my life, I've got everything that I could ever wish for, every material thing that I could ever wish for. But also from a family perspective and a health and happiness. And I mean that sincerely, not like, oh yeah, speaking of stage, oh, well, let's all be happy. I'm fucking genuinely content as fuck about my life. And I don't know anyone who's universally so consistently happy and content with their life. And the reason behind it is because I've fucked up so many times that I realise that it's like a pendulum. You don't realise, it's like doing drugs. It's all fun and games until, of course, you have your stomach pumped and you go on about what happened there. What was the mechanism? I've never happened that, but do you see what I'm saying? It's like you kind of don't know where the ledge is.
And do you think you've got to have went through that shit to get that contentment in life?
Totally. So I had a nervous breakdown 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm all right now. I had a nervous breakdown 8 years ago because I was so focused on business success. at any cost. That was like a machine, a big fat Terminator robot, just doing 40,000 miles a year. 40,000 miles a year consistently, going to my networking meetings, chat, next meeting, and that's why this 2.0 thing is so important to me, is that somewhere along the way I've managed to, with phone networking, 5,000 meetings, as a member you could go to any meeting, anywhere you want. But you've got to drive there. So when I came to see you guys over in Newcastle, I was at phone networking in Newcastle. And then from there, we've gone to Leeds. And then from there, we've gone to the South Coast or whatever. With phone networking, this 2.0 stuff, you teleport there using this platform. Now you go to networking events. Like right now, there's 2 running now, and there's like another 4 running today. So you can, if you want to, go to a networking event right now with 25, 30 people, boss done. And then from there, you could then go, okay, I want to go to London. Boom, you're in London. Then you want to do the South Coast tomorrow. So you think about it, it's so powerful. We're teleporting now using this whole technology that would not have existed 3 years ago. You just wouldn't have had the cloud. But now, perfect.
But people, you've said you blagged your way into jobs when you were 30 or whatever. People who are blagging their way into jobs don't run businesses as big or get into businesses the type that you have. Why are you different, Brad? And how have you done it?
What a great question. So somebody said to me years ago, he said, he called me a Brad grenade. I said, what do you mean? He says, this was when I was 26, 27. So I used to work for a guy. And he was a publisher. He ran a massive publishing company. And he said to me, he said, I call you a Brad grenade, go on. He said, you go into a room full of squares, and before you know it, everyone loves you, and they're all talking. That was at 27. I didn't start my networking business until I was 31, 32. So somewhere along the way, that Brad grenade thing, and he said, you do realise what a complete nut job you come across as, don't you? What you don't know. He said, you don't know at 27 what a complete fucking over-enthusiastic nut job. I've got no idea what you're on about. It's a bit like saying to a fish, what's the water like? And the fish goes, what are you fucking on about? So the question you said there, how did I do it? I think I've done it because when I'm so passionate about something, I'll tell everyone. I won't, anyone that knows me knows I won't put my name to something that's shit. I just won't do it. And I say one of my Bradisms is the problem with selling yourself out for money is the selling out lasts forever. The money doesn't. So I'll never do that. Think about it. I've got everything that I want, every material thing that I could possibly want. So why the fuck would I sell myself out? And I think that's the integrity that I've got, and the fact that I'm a working class lad, and the fact that I've done benefits, and the fact that no one gave me an opportunity, and the fact that I've done, fucking no qualifications. And actually, I've never fitted in corporate. I've always been that guy, the northerner, trying to fit in corporate.
Yeah.
And what I decided to do is to not bother fucking fitting into anyone else's world, fit into my own and be me. So I think right at the core of everything that I do is about being me. And if people don't like me for being me, fucking next. I'm not bothered. Like, genuinely, I don't go around, some people in corporate have to pretend they like people. I don't fucking do it. I won't do it. If I didn't like you, it won't be on the corner. That's the reality of it. I'd be busy.
Yeah, exactly. And when you told that boss to sort of shove his job up the arse and all the rest of it, I imagine you had a certain, a support network around you or friendship groups. How did they react to that? And are they still your friends now?
Mate, I have no fucking support network. Even my wife didn't want me to fucking that. No, didn't. And this is what you've got to be, self-leader. You've got to find self-leadership. You've got to find it within you. So many people right now with everything that's going on looking to the government for fucking bailouts. Mate, not a single fucking bailout we qualify for. Of all the fucking things that have happened, not one. So this is why it's kind of fucked me, really, then that, people are looking like I'm not religious, but people looking towards God to give us answers. Well, that's fucking great. And I've got no, let me tell you, even though I'm not religious, I've prayed 3 times in my life, right? And actually, that's what my God's there for. My God, right, is that actually when the shit's hit the fan, boom. And actually, that's what God should be. That actually is there for you when you need whatever be God is. But looking towards the government to save your business, fuck off. There's no cavalry unless you make a cavalry. You're waiting for someone to fucking do it. Mate, last week, my business went like fucking that, right? £1 million businesses, boom, gone, fell off. Now, I've got fucking staff to pay. They don't give a fuck. They want wages. So I've got to fucking somehow muster. So I changed my business like that. No one's even seen it. So much so, I'm not going into specifics, but I had a director from a £100 million business contact me the other day, literally 3 days ago, and said, I'm blown away with the speed that you've moved. And can you give us some tips?
Mm-hmm.
I shit you not. And it's a household name, contacted me the other fucking day, and I had a FaceTime with him. You know, because they've seen the speed we move at. No, I've never.
So how have you done that then? How have you adapted in this current climate? What have you done differently?
Because if I put a gun to your fucking head now, and I said to you, I want you to jump over this fucking 6 foot fucking whatever it is, 6 foot fucking drop, with the fucking 500 foot drop, and you wouldn't fucking do it. If I put a gun to your fucking head and said, listen, jump, or I'm gonna fucking shoot you, you'd fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I said jump over it, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a £100, 100 quid. Fuck off, Brad. 1,000, not interested. 10 grand, not interested. Jump on, still scared. All right, to your kids, to your fucking family, whatever it fucking took, and you'd go, fuck it, you'd do it.
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
You?
Yeah,
You wouldn't go, oh, okay, shoot me fucking kids. You wouldn't do that. You'd fucking do it. Win or lose. That is where I went. I went, you know what? I've come too fucking far. 14 years of working my bollocks off to have COVID-19. Fuck me. Get out of it. Not a fucking chance. What does this make possible? And I've got an SES mentor, an SES guy. And he said to me, he said, you know what, Brad? He said, you cannot delegate responsibility. This is on you. And I went, right, fucking game on. And I fucking went, you know what? I ordered this fucking daft cap, right?
Mm-hmm. I've seen on your Instagram,
I said, fuck it, I'm in. I said, right, let's do this. I got this. I've never had one of these before. I got this to say, right, I'm in war mode now. This is not normal conventional rules. So let's give you a story. 6 weeks ago, not 6 weeks ago, fucking 3 days ago, I go and buy some fucking veg from the farm shop, okay? The woman goes, as I'm serving her, she's just thinking, okay, so gets on with fruit. I ring my wife and said, listen, she just coughed. Now, if that woman hadn't coughed, I wouldn't have been this vigilant, right? But she did. I said, right, don't know, just gonna fucking, can you do me a favour, get some bicarbonate of soda, put it on there, put all the fruit in, I put it on the island. So I did that, put the fruit on the island, got my clothes off in the fucking thing where the washing machine is, flirted all my clothes in the washing machine, burnt the fucking bags that I got in, and went straight to a shower, and had a shower. Now, 6 weeks ago, if I would have done that, everyone would have gone, this guy's fucking tapped. Right? Yeah. Now, it's normal. Now, let me explain something. 6 weeks ago, right, the way that you behaved in business has fucking changed. So what you need to do now is stop with 6 weeks ago, the way you did it. Forget it. It's now this fucking mode. Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone, right, forget the normal rules of engagement. This is fucking fight for survival now. This isn't about being entrepreneurial. This is a fight for survival. And if I don't fucking sort this out now, winning number. And that means everything that I've worked for falls to pieces. Now, it's good. I'm a motivational speaker. I could talk about how COVID fucked me. Or what I could do is talk about how actually it didn't fuck me. It has allowed me to create something. No matter what shit goes on in your life, no matter how volatile your life is, or any stuff, ask yourself this question. What does this make possible? What does this make possible? And what this made possible for us is to do the brave move that we would have never done before, which is to do this for networking 2.0, which is to take it online. So rather than me doing 40,000 miles a year, mate, I've done 13 for networking meetings, and as a member, you can go to any group. I've done 13 in a month. It's the most I've ever in a week. It's the most I've ever done. I did 1,200 miles, and I was burnt out. Hotel rooms, for 5 nights a week. Yeah. Now, I did 3 yesterday from here. Fucking London, Southampton, Scotland. Yeah,
that's it.
Jesus Christ. So I'm meeting people who are in Scotland. I'm meeting people who are in London. I'm meeting people. And here's the best thing about it. Is it used to be 15 quid per meeting. I've gone, you know what? Fuck it, £5. So we've lowered the price by 33% of the membership. Sorry, 42%. I've lowered the price down from 35 quid a month to 19.99. Bosh. I've lowered the meeting price from 15 to £5. And I've gone, fuck this. This requires a changing of the game. Because if you had a blank piece of paper now and you was writing your life, you wanted to plan your life out, you wouldn't have planned your life, you wouldn't be where you are now. You've done things differently. If you had a blank piece of paper, and that's why I asked this question. What does this make possible? And what this made possible was for me to do something that I would never have done. If you had said to me 6 weeks ago, do this, I'd have gone, fuck off. No way, you're risking everything. Now, it made no sense. All in, fuck it, all in. And actually, mate, here's the thing. 4 years, just let me give you one statistic. First year before networking, we did 12 meetings. Second year, we did 25 or 26. Third year, 56. Fourth year, 120. We are at 120 groups already.
That's it.
Already.
Absolutely
right?
mental, mate.
Mate, 120. Now, the only reason that we can do that is because I've spent 14 years, and I know the people in Scotland. I know that if somebody came into the space and wanted to do 5 networking, they wouldn't be able to do it because they've not got the face-to-face contacts, first and foremost. I drove 40,000 miles, my team. I've met all these people. So we've got the best people in place. It's fucking brave new world, mate.
So how's that going to change then now? Because you know, these things, especially with COVID and things, the shape and the way businesses are run, now you're not actually getting them face-to-face meetings. You're not getting them, that physical contact. So how is that going to change for your business and other businesses? Are you still going to be able to develop that rapport, that trust? Do you think businesses are going to be able to grow as organically as what they did with you?
Let me get you on a meeting today. Let me get you on a meeting free of charge, my guest today. And you go and have a look and you come back to me and you can be really honest about it. You will have your socks blown off. Or, mate, I didn't even me, I'm thinking, not sure it's going to work. Fucking hell, it's the greatest teleporting. So if you think about it, you want to go to London, you're going to London next week, so you want to meet people. For networking, databases, London, Bosch. Hi guys, I'm Aslad, I'm over in London next week. I'd really love to meet people who this, that, and the other. Bosch done.
Yeah.
Scotland, fucking, mate, you can do like fucking 4 or 5 meetings a day. So if you've got a business and you're a web developer, right, you can do 4 meetings a day and you get 3 one-to-one appointments, 3 people in the room that you end up having a chat with for 10 minutes.
Right.
Trust me. Let me get you on one today and it'll blow your fucking head off. It's blown my head off. Like, genuinely, it's blown my fucking head off.
And the thing is, I mean, with my business, we've got a business called Brand Control, and it's a digital marketing agency. And what we do is we're basically going to these meetings, we're meeting people, we're trying to basically promote their brands, build their brands. It could be anything from a personal brand, business, it could be SEO, all that good stuff. We're content creations and we're great at what we do. Now, with this being online, what we'll find is a lot of businesses are actually, yes, a lot are dying, unfortunately, but a lot are actually thriving. You being one of them because you've shaped and you've adapted, and that's what we know. I think there's a good quote there, actually, Brad. It's something like, it's not the fittest or it's the one who's most adaptable to change anyway. And so is that changed the way you motivate people as well then?
So there's 2 things here. One, when this all ends, and it will end at some point, there's going to be lots of orphans looking for clients, for people orphans who the previous vendors fell away, so they're looking for people. So right now, there's going to be losers, big losers, winners and big winners throughout this period, I promise you. So the way that a motivational speaker works, and I realised this, because I said, why do people come to motivational speakers? What is it about them? How do I specifically work? Why am I getting booked at this level? And I thought about it. And you know what a motivational speaker does? It takes you back to a time when you never learned the lesson. I'm going to do something right now. What I want you to do, Ads, is I want you to rewind to a time in your life when if you'd have made a different decision, life would have been fundamentally different. It might have been an old relationship, you got striped up with a business deal. Yeah, you can think of something?
Of course I can.
You know what? You can't fucking rewind. And this is where people go wrong. They spend so much fucking time looking over the past. If it wasn't for that cunt, what he did, if it wasn't for my ex-boyfriend, if it wasn't, shut the fuck up. It's done. It's over. And here's the thing, an expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. When it comes to business, I've made them all. When it comes to fucking marriage, I've made them all. When it comes to whatever. So you've got to learn the lesson. And this is what I think people do. They don't learn the lesson. And what a motivational speaker does when I present for an hour or whatever, people go, okay, so I've seen his version. That was what happened to me. And Bosch. And actually, you can start seeing the positive, because if it wasn't for me getting shot at in 1995, I wouldn't be talking to you now. There'd be no 4 books. There'd be no 4 books. There'd be no fucking 4 networking. There'd be no Ben, Brandon and Bonbon, my kids.
Yeah.
There'd be no Wi-Fi connected. So everything happens for the reason we wouldn't be speaking.
And so that's the thing. I mean, Brad, I came down to Now What Live, obviously at Villa Park there a couple of months back, and again, it's been about 6 years since, so we've known about each other, and I've met you obviously in the past and things like that, and we've talked. But when I came down there, what I noticed was I was pretty. Obviously I was down there with my agency doing my thing, but I was pretty emotional that day. It was the way you did it. It wasn't about you selling things. You weren't selling an event. You weren't selling it. People were naturally, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually bought into that event. There was a lot of tears there, it was like, even at the end when you were like, buy the fucking butter, you had a bit of a, a comedy element. Everything was absolutely brilliant. Me and Steve, obviously, we've talked about this a lot since the event and how you do them things. And it's the years you've put into it to get to this point. If you've just been Joe Public from, General Street, and you try to put this on, people are going, I'm not paying fucking 200 quid a ticket for that. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that at all.
But you know what?
You've done that over them years. And
my motivation is to make a positive difference, right? There is people out there, we pretty much break even for those events when all's said and done. That's the reality of it. And actually, they've got these motivational speaker events that charge fucking $4,000, $5,000. And I despair because people are borrowing money that they can ill afford for this, what they believe is a ticket. See, if you think about my experience right now at 14 years of running for networking version 1.0, that is why it allows me to get the same gains in 3 weeks that it took for 4 years because of experience. And actually, you think about life, it's where you end up in your life is a direct result of your decisions, small ones and big ones. So, for instance, having, like I did yesterday, 2 hobnobs, right? Not a problem. You locked in 2 hobnobs, fuck it. The old Brad had done 3/4 of a packet. Not a problem now. But now you start getting your weight. Now you start feeling bad about yourself. So you don't feel confident. Now when your stage presence in, it's all these little things that people don't see. And I've realised it's almost like we're like little computers. We go round just hoovering up and programming that we look at the way we look at the world. And that's what I want to do with everything that I'm doing right now is about making a positive difference. And I'm making a positive difference. And it's just lovely when a working class lad, street kid from Salford, can actually be a modern day sage and do something positive and steer people in a manner which only a kid from Salford probably could do, because I reach out to people that wouldn't necessarily gravitate or listen to people like that. And also, given that I'm not striping people up and signing people up for my 10 grand mastermind club, there's none of that. It's not like there's some people out there that are charlatans that are doing just that are taking money off people. Mate, I've got everything I fucking need. I've got everything I need. And actually, me striping someone up for a load of money, I couldn't sleep at night. And I like sleeping at night. So, I think the world is, I think a lot of that stuff is coming to a grinding halt. And I'm taking it under my mission to basically fucking torpedo a lot of them and actually prove the point that personal development, good modern day personal development, does not have to cost thousands of pounds.
So I know you've got your own mentor on that as well, Brad. Do you look at anybody else for motivation yourself?
Every single person that I see. And I mean that, like every single person that I see. The guy, well, you know him, Steve, he's blown me away, like genuinely blown me away. And actually, we'd be proper friends. If it was local, we'd be like pals. But, Steve is a good example of someone who has changed his life positively. I mean, arguably, well, the first time I met him was with you. Arguably, Steve France, he spoke at my last now. Arguably the most intense man I've ever met in my life. And actually, when you get to know him and beyond the intenseness, you recognise that actually he's a pussycat. But lovely lad, and a big inspiration for me. And what I mean by that is that he continues to walk the good path, the positive path, when actually it'd be quite easy for someone like that to transition away from it. So I find positivity and inspiration in everything that I see. I was walking the other week and walking my dog, and I stopped to see a fucking daffodil. I'm looking at a fucking daffodil. Like, I wasn't stoned enough. And looking at a daffodil, going, "Oh, that's fucking amazing! That's just first daffodil." And I looked at it for like 20 seconds. And actually, somebody had a camera on me, going, "What's this fucking mental twat? He's been smoking bongs." The reality is, I was just fascinated by it, and that is amazing that you can see the beauty. And this COVID thing has been wonderful in allowing us to see the beauty about what we've already got, not what we've not got. Because actually, let me be quite clear here. I had a friend of mine, 35, who got COVID, and he nearly died. Twice he contacted me to say, "This is it, as far as he's concerned, he's going now." He was 100% believed he was going to die. He said he was 35 healthy, and he said it was like glass. He said he couldn't breathe. Every time he breathed, it was painful, so intensely painful. And he genuinely phoned an ambulance and said it was dead. It was like solidified. But this is the point I make to people. I say to people right now who are complaining about right now, "Oh, it's terrible." Shut the fuck up, right? I said, you've got 3 things right now. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and depending on how you answer them is depending on whether you should be miserable or not. 1, are you going to starve to death? No. 2, are you going to lose your house, mortgage, or property? No. Might you get some snotty letters? Yeah. Fucking snotty letter doesn't mean you're losing your fucking house. It means you've got a snotty letter. 3, are you going to die? No. So on that basis, shut the fuck up, because there was someone in an ICU unit right now on a fucking ventilator, or who can't get a ventilator, fucking worried and thinking, I wish I could fucking be at home with no money. You know,
exactly.
So put it all in perspective, and this is where I'm at. I said to the wife, I said, if it all goes kaput, we've got a fucking 5-bedroom house, and we'll find a way. I'll deliver pizza, I can give a fuck. So this is the thing. Yeah, so what's the risk? The risk is, you know, we can't pay the mortgage. Well, all right, I have a mortgage, but we can't pay the mortgage. What are you going to do about it? Well, we'll take the house off you. You're not now. It's been 6 or 7, 8 months. So between now and then, we're going to slow it down. Gosh. And this is the thing. People end up panicking. People end up, you know, oh, we're going to lose the house. We can't pay the mortgage. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. All you do is...
And do you think that's something that helps you, though, Brad? The fact that you are from humble beginnings, because you've just said there, I'd go back to delivering pizzas if I have to. Mate, I bet you there's a lot of people who would hate to deliver pizzas. Do you know what I mean?
And this is the thing, I've lived on Tesco's beans and waffles all my life, and if I've had fucking a good run of fucking living large in my fucking working class council estate living large way, because here's the thing, you know, I've got a mate of mine with gold taps, like multi-millionaire guy. I went, what the fuck? I said, don't think much of them. He said, why not? They're 10 grand each. I said, you can get platinum ones for 25. And I said, you're a fucking idiot. I said, what the fuck is going on in your life? And you're fucking about buying gold taps, you knobhead. What a dickhead. You know, what the fuck? You know, 10 grand gold taps. What the fuck is going on? You fucking idiot. I mean, how bored must you be? I said, fucking do something with your life. Stop working to make more money to buy more gold fucking taps.
So have you noticed any particular trends in Brad who seek motivation to come to you? Is there any particular trends that these people have where they think, I need a Brad Burton in my life?
Let me tell you, everyone fucking has a story, and I think what I'm really good at is eliciting and getting it out of there. The fact that I got a 100 mil fucking company owner contact me the other day, like I say, household name. It's like, what the fuck? I was there going, what the fuck? You know, it was just bizarre. But no, I think you know, anyone who's a success or anyone in life is generally speaking, from my experience, is a good actor. And actually, people don't share their fears; they give it the big one. I'm really honest when I speak at events. You know, if I'm nervous, once I get over the nerves, I say, "Listen, let me tell you, for all this flamboyance and jazz hands, I was nervous back here."
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't come naturally. It might look like it does. So I'm really honest. So does anyone? I think most people need motivation. I think I self-motivate myself on a daily basis. I ask myself a question: is this the best use of my time? Is this what I'm doing the best use of my time? If the answer is no, go and do what the fucking hell it is. And I also work like I've got a boss looking over me.
Yeah,
that boss is me. And that's so motivation. You know, I do drive people, but it's about little and often, not big fucking lumps of it.
And is that how you, because you've did a quite impressive sort of body transformation. You've been on a big weight loss journey, and I've got to congratulate for that, Brad, because you look brilliant. And I mean, I remember you actually said at the event, you said there was a time when you used to hold your stomach in when you'd present. It's these little things, being truthful. How have you sort of done it then? Is it your own mindset, and is it got anything to do with your business mind? Because how you managed to keep the weight off?
The thing is, you can't trust a fat motivational speaker. It doesn't add up. Right? Yeah. How the fuck can I motivate anyone if I can't motivate myself? That's like, fucking, come on. It doesn't add up.
That's right.
How can you trust a fat motivational speaker? There's like people out there on LinkedIn, big fat fuckers who are motivational speakers, and I'm like, mate, motivate yourself to lose some weight. And actually, if you can't do that, then don't try to tell me how to change my life. Well, I like being fat. No one likes being fat. Everyone likes eating cakes. No one likes being fat. Right? I love cakes. Right? Mm-hmm. Don't like being fat. So there comes a point where actually you've got to fucking find that. You've got to find that within yourself. So once again, self-motivation, self-leadership. And for me, what changed everything was when I realised I've got type 2 diabetes, and actually I could ignore it and go and get some tablets, but I'm not. And I realised that I don't want a safety net. I don't want a fucking safety net. So by not having a safety net, it means I've got to act right. Because otherwise I had fucking, tablets, whatever they have for diabetes.
Yeah.
Boom. But you know, the thing is, so for me, I realised that actually, in order for me to be the top of my game, and don't get me wrong, you know, under normal circumstances, if it wasn't for fucking COVID-19, I'd have teeth whitening and I'd have a fucking suntan and go on the sunbeds. You know, those days are finished. So it is what it is. But that's the stage, Brad. But no, I realised that actually to get booked at the highest level, I needed to look right at the highest level. So, because all these things are a factor. See, if you look at going to anyone who's listening to this, Brad Burton working lunch on YouTube, and go and have a look at me from 10 years ago. I was literally 3.5 stone heavier. And actually, do you think I'd get booked at the highest level, JCB Costa? Because I don't. And what does that make them? Does it make them fattest? No, it makes them actually that they want to fucking someone that represents their brand effectively, healthy, strong, powerful, decisive, not fucking woolly. And I think that's what happened. I realised that the only way I was going to get to the top of the game was by being at the top of the game, and that included not only sorting my fucking own head out, not only sorting the way I present out, the way that I move with purpose, and my tonality, and my pausing, and my eye contact, but I also needed to change the way that I look physically. It's all part of it. And anyone who says it's not, is talking out their ass, because we all look at people and we make a judgment, right or wrong, as to who or what that individual is based on the way they look. And actually, don't get me wrong, I'm 47. I'm not in the profession like Steve is, who's a fitness coach. That's not the world I'm in. I'm in the world of motivation. So there's a level which works for me that me at 47 probably wouldn't work for me being me at 47 being a fitness coach. But I'm not. I'm a motivational speaker. But by mentioning to people that now what life that I'm breathing in on occasion. Okay, this guy's all right, and that's what I do, to share to people that look, what you see in the world isn't necessarily what what's happening in the world.
And it is crazy how people look at you as well. Because I mean, myself, I lost 7 stone, and I kept it off. And obviously, I lost it just before I met you, right? And we used to take the piss, actually, me and Steve. We used to say like, oh, well, we'll measure your fat, see how big you are now, see what we can do and all that. But I just went on my own journey. I was committed, and that was it. And I managed to keep it off. But what I realised is how many opportunities came my way, or did they even come my way? What I found was the confidence within me put myself in them scenarios to create the opportunity.
So this is the thing that I talk about, which is I used to walk past signposts that say opportunity here, and they go, oh, it's not for me. And when I was on the dole, the woman at the dole office, benefits office, she said, oh, why don't you start your own business off? You'd be ace. Not me. No, I don't understand tax. That was what happened. I said fucking no twice. I knocked her back twice. What the fucking idiot. So now, would I have knocked that back? Of course not. I'd have run with it. But I didn't have the confidence and belief. Now, let me ask you, why was you 7 stone heavier?
Bad habits, just these. I no idea, to be honest. I've always been that way. I was always a big kid.
Also, pilot. You love cakes. I love cakes. Everyone loves cakes. No one likes being fat. And anyone who tells you they like being fat is talking out their ass. No one likes being fat. If you could press a button and lose a stone, 3 stone, or 5 stone, ask anyone, which button would you press? No one's going to say, I wouldn't press it. No one's going to say, I wouldn't press one. Fuck off. I'd do a stone now, happily. Bush, lovely.
Very true.
I'd actually do 3 so I could eat more Jaffa cakes.
What I was going to ask you as well, Brad, so the success of 4 Networking, it's obviously because, do you think it's because you're behind it? You have a Brad Burton behind 4 Networking?
I think it has a contributing factor, but once you get, once you get Virgin Atlantic, it doesn't necessarily need Richard Branson. But I think first and foremost, this 4 Networking 2.0 and the radicalness and the speed that we moved at wouldn't have happened if I'd not been on the board. I kind of retired from 4 Networking. I had a management team. They left in November. So by pure fluke, really, is I was here at the wrong time. And actually, having been on the subs bench for 5-6 years, to come back into the organisation that I founded, it's just great because I've got something to prove, and I believe in the last 2 weeks I've proved that.
And I mean that's the thing as well, because Brad Burton itself is a brand. And touching on that, then, Brad, how important do you think it is to build a personal brand in this day and age?
Oh, listen, there's no point in building a personal brand if you can't live a personal brand. So some people, let's say, for instance, have a personal brand which is wearing a daft hat. And that's not a personal brand. It's not a personal brand. Wearing a daft hat, a branded hat or a branded t-shirt, that's not a personal brand. See, everything that I do, if people book me, you get, jeans, trainers, tattoos, you have clout, energy, swagger, all these things factor into Adidas, brand new trainers. And actually that's part of it. And if I turned up at a 3-piece suit and a pocket watch, people wouldn't kind of go, what the fuck, this isn't right. And what's this about? Isn't about people don't book me because of the junior trainers and t-shirt, but I feel better as a result of that personal brand. I feel confident. I feel better. I go to the gym before and stuff. So personal brand is massive, but not everyone can live it. Just because such a thing exists doesn't mean you should have one. My personal brand's changed massively. When I first started, I used to have a pizza box. I used to carry a pizza box, 12-inch pizza box with me when I'd go to networking events or I'd go to a business show and literally have it face downwards. So people
really?
I'd be walking on a business show and people going, who's the fucking lunatic wearing a suit with a pizza box going down? Oh, that's that Brad Burton, that. Why has he got a pizza box? Oh, he used to deliver pizzas to keep the business well. And actually what I did is really allowed people to talk about me. And there's one guy, as a member of my mentoring club, who actually seen me at a trade show 11 years ago with a fucking daft cowboy hat on, a pink boa, a pizza box in my hand with a vuvuzela blowing it in a fucking thing, and him and his business partner went, "Who's that prick?" He's now I'm mentoring Matt Ruddle, but you know he remembers me as a result of that, and I wrote about him on the books. Yeah. And actually, yes, it was a little bit oafish, but when you've got no marketing budget, so as a personal brand, absolutely essential, and everyone can have a personal brand. And just because my personal brand is bullish. It's loud, proud. Doesn't mean that your personal brand should be bullish, loud, and proud. You kind of need to find a thing that fits for you, but you need to live it. And it's not just like a made-up fucking brand. The way that I am is that when I come onto stage, I come on there and I say, guys, just put your mind at ease. I'm from Salford, Manchester. I do have a shaved head, I do have tattoos, but don't worry, I'm not a drug dealer anymore. And then you get a big laugh out of it, and it's self-depreciating. The reason I say that is that if I didn't say it, he looks like a drug dealer, right? That's what people would be saying.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Yeah. So by getting out of the fucking way, no one can ping. No one can go, "Oh, he looks like a drug dealer." He looks like a drug dealer. I know we just said that. You got the joke out of the way before you did. So that's what I do from a personal brand perspective. There's no other person in the land that could come out and say, "I look like a drug dealer." Well, okay, but you see what I'm saying? You know, it wouldn't work for the vast majority of people. So what my brand is about humour. It's about self-depreciation. It's about honesty. It's about, so that's part of the brand, not just the physical stuff. It's all that kind of stuff, and actually making a positive difference, understanding the value of being happy over money, that kind of stuff. And I think that's part of a personal brand that, you know, I've never actually broke it down, but I've actually got, I can't show you on here, but I've actually got a picture of me, and I'll get it, stay there. So this is, can we see that? And no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. No. Not going to work. So that is a picture of me with my arms folded and stuff. And actually, we was talking about doing this from a creative perspective, putting all this personal brand stuff in there as part of that. And it's just, personal brand is something that this personal brand that I've got is me. That's all it is. It's not a fucking brand. It's just me being me. You know, Salford swagger. I've just brought it into a business world when everyone told me I couldn't make it happen. Proved them wrong. Because
our brand control, we build people's personal brands, and what we try and do is create obviously the follow-ons. We give them exciting, cutting-edge visuals. We'll build them archives of content to sort of drip feed and things like that to their audience, and people are loving that. Can you think of anything else that's required to build a personal brand? Give us two things, Brad.
So required for a personal brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, believability. You know, believability. Don't tell me you're funny, make me laugh. I'm a comedian.
Brilliant.
Go on then, make me laugh. Well, I can't do it now. I'm not on stage. All right. You know, so don't tell me you're fucking funny, make me laugh. And also, I think it's about being you. Fundamentally being you. I couldn't copy your style. You couldn't copy mine. You could. You come unstuck. I come unstuck with yours. So fundamentally, be you, and don't tell me you're funny, make me laugh.
Absolutely brilliant. And what would you tell your 20-year-old self now, just before the shooting happened, when you were in Salford? What would you tell yourself now if you could?
This doesn't end well. This does not end well. Change something quick. Because I think this is the thing. Go back to what I said before about all those people in the hospital wards right now. Nobody thought they were going to get fucking pinged with COVID. Nobody said, "I'll tell you what, I'll go shopping today. I'm only going to be there for now, but I'll get pinged." Said no one ever. Yeah, there's thousands of people in wards. Same goes for kids, you know, getting involved in all sorts of fucking nonsense. Is that, you know, it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well.
Definitely.
What's the possible end game here? How does this end well?
And one last thing, Brad, before I let you go, what advice would you give to people not to try and make profits, not trying to thrive in this industry, everything that's going on in the current climate? What advice would you give to people to just stay trading through COVID-19?
First and foremost, don't panic, right? Panic achieves nothing, right? Panic achieves nothing. Ask yourself this question: have you done everything that you can in order to get yourself through the day? Right, in whatever that means. And if the answer is no, go and do that. See, people have got these like elaborate plans. Yeah, I've got a 3-month plan. Fuck your 3-month plan, because where the fuck was COVID-19 on your 3-month plan back in January? You know, you don't know. Nobody knows what's going on in the next 3 minutes. And people have these big, long plans and big, elaborate business plan documents that are going nowhere. So for me, ask yourself that question: have I done everything possible that I can do today in order to move me, my life, my business, my relationships, my happiness forward? If the answer is no, what is it you need to go and do? And that's a question that I'm always real-time processing. So I'm actually asking myself a question. So for instance, when we finish here at 13:30, I'm going to go and have a sleep for half an hour. That's the reality. I feel tired now. You know, some people go, well, that's not very professional. I don't give a fuck what you think. For me, it works for me. It's my life and it's your life. Do what you want to do with it.
Absolutely brilliant, Brad. Well, that's all I want to say for now. I'm sure we'll speak again down the line and stuff like that and get you on the podcast. But thanks a lot for your time, man. It's been absolutely appreciated and we enjoyed having you on.
No worries, people. Do check out 4nonline.biz. It's where the magic happens. You can network today for just £5. Boom.